So a little bit ago, I uploaded a video that was just pure nonsense. I apologize to those of you who thought reality was on the blink again, but I did this for a very good reason. Rageaholic and Suit Yourself uploaded a couple of nonsense videos to try and find out what triggers YouTube's new limited monetization status I told you about on Thursday. They seemed to conclude that YouTube had a blacklist. In other words, a list of channels that would pretty much automatically get the limited monetization. But then Mr. Dapperton did his own experiment, and this was a little more scientific. He made a completely innocuous video, and then he made one of him repeatedly dropping the F-bomb, but nothing wrong in the text. Very quickly, the F-bomb video was limited in monetization, while the Puppies and Rainbows video got full monetization. This seems to contradict what Suit and Rageaholic found. Although it doesn't definitively rule out a blacklist, there's at least something going on where YouTube is, in fact, looking into the video somehow for certain content. I wanted to do a slightly different experiment. A video filled with complete and utter gibberish, but with a title, description, and tags that seem to be related to the claims people are making about what YouTube is censoring. So I called it SJW and Nazi Video Games and gave it a gibberish description with certain keywords like transgender. And the tags were Donald Trump, Richard Spencer, Sargon of Akkad, alt-right, Hillary Clinton, and Robert E. Lee. See, I think YouTube is trying to make life difficult for people who go after the regressive left. For evidence, I submit my recent video on flip-flopping. It's a quickie, and there isn't anything anyone could possibly have a problem with. And yet, it's on limited monetization as confirmed by manual review. A human being watched the video and deliberately determined that it shouldn't have full monetization. Why? The only thing anyone could possibly have objected to is the fact that I used Hillary Clinton as an example of flip-flopping, an example that was completely true, by the way. So did they deny that video full monetization solely because of Hillary being used as the example? That's what I wanted to check, which is why I did it the way I did. So let's look at the video. I really wanted the appearance of a typical video, so I wanted a few minutes of me talking complete nonsense. Here's the first bit. Lorem ipsum dolor citamet. Consectetur ad spisking. People in the printing industry are laughing their heads off right about now because they know I'm doing lipsum text, a bit of ancient Latin from Cicero named from the first two words of the passage, lorem ipsum, that's been used as placeholder text in the printing industry for centuries. When I got bored of that, I moved on to the next bit. For a number of years now, work has been proceeding in order to bring perfection to the crudely conceived idea of a transmission that would not only supply inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal grammeters. Such an instrument is the turboencabulator. Now, those of you who recognize this will remember a hilarious video from Chrysler back in the 60s about a new invention called the turboencabulator. Those of you who don't, I've linked the video in the description. Go watch it now. It's all complete technobabble and it's hilarious. Libertarians will love the ending. I still needed another minute or two, so I did this. Tonight's the night I shall be talking about of the flu, the subject of word association football. This is a technique out of living, much used in the practice makes perfect of psychoanalysis, sister and brother. And this is a bit from Monty Python called word association. It's hilarious, so take a listen, or check the link in the description to hear John Cleese doing it while being far funnier than I have the capability of being. And those of you who got the reference in the tag are awesome, all I'm saying. Now remember, there's nothing about this video that even makes coherent sense, much less is offensive or should be any problem for an advertiser. So the only possible thing that could cause it to be demonetized is the text. But the only text parts that aren't nonsense are keywords generally used by people posting videos skeptical of the politics of the regressive left. So if this ends up with limited monetization, it isn't because of an algorithm scrubbing the video, and it isn't looking for profanity or anything like that. It's because the algorithm is specifically and deliberately looking for these keywords to try and catch videos critical of the extreme left. Okay, so what actually happened? See for yourself. Yep, limited monetization. They are specifically limiting monetization for videos they think are being critical of the regressive left. And they do this in the guise of the video not being advertiser friendly. But as you just saw, there's nothing wrong with this video. It must be the keywords. Keywords that are found in all sorts of media stories on websites that have no problem getting advertisers. Now, I can request a manual review. I won't do it on this video because it doesn't matter. It's just an experiment. But if this were a real video I truly wanted to monetize, I could. But it takes time, and that's exacerbated by the fact that they'll only review videos that get 1,000 views in the past week. Basically, you have to forego full monetization on 1,000 views. And we're talking about those first few crucial days when you get the bulk of the views and, of course, the bulk of the ad dollars. This really hurts, and it especially hurts smaller channels. At any rate, there's no reason to think that this video isn't advertiser friendly because of the keywords. There is every reason for the algorithm to think it's being critical of the regressive left. I'm not saying that's the only thing the algorithm is looking for, it obviously isn't, but it's definitely there. I think now we see why they don't want to be transparent with their algorithms. It would mean admitting their deliberate bias. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe? And to make sure I can keep producing content, support this channel by becoming a patron. And check out all the other great content here, like this video selected especially for you.